Well, does Fight or Flight with Josh Hartnett take off, or are you going to want to fight it off with all your might? Next at Mark at the Movies. Well, I had the opportunity to see Fight or Flight, directed by James Madigan this afternoon, and wasn't expecting too much from it. And this is what I pulled out of it. It's with Josh Hartnett, and he's had himself quite a little career resurgence with M. Night Shyamalan's Trap, and he got really good reviews from his performance out of that one. And then also with Katee Sackhoff. Those are probably the two most recognized names in here. And, they're going for, I know a lot of people have said that this is like a Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. I didn't get too much of that. I can see where the comparisons are. To me, they were looking to make more of a John Wick or even a Kingsman movie. And this is why. Because with Kingsman and with John Wick, they are over the top, they're violent, they have their own very unique aesthetic. John Wick with all the different camera angles and the different locations and not a ton of story plot, but just enough to get the job done. Kingsman has this elegant English take to it, or British. I'm sorry, excuse me if I offended anyone, but they have this overseas aesthetic to it, and it's violent and it knows what it is. I love movies that know what they are and they commit 100%. They're just, this is what it is, this is who we are, and love it or hate it. It's fine. And this movie doesn't commit. It's like 65 to 70% of trying to go bonkers on it. And the last 20 minutes is absolutely over the top bonkers, but quite a bit too little, too late. Movie takes a while to get going. You could drive a truck through all the narrative in there in between a couple crazy over the top scenes, and you could tell where they were trying to go with this action on a plane, but tons of story thematic element problems with the story. And this is why I say they needed to commit 100% and they didn't. So you have all these cast. Oh, spoiler alert here. There's going to be some spoilers in this review. If you haven't seen it, I recommend shutting it off now. I'll give you a sec. So you have all these assassins on this plane, or bounty hunters, and Josh Hartnett's character is recruited to go onto the plane and be one of it and find this mysterious character called the Ghost. And it could have been a real gem. You could have had all these different characters with all these different qualities. Tall Australian guy with a glass eye. You could have had a crazy over the top woman. You could have had this, whatever, Korean guy, whatever. Really, a lot of the guys in the plane were just 30-year-old white dudes that were generic, and there was nothing separating either of them apart. One had a beard, one didn't, whatever. It was really, really not creative as far as what they were throwing at Josh Hartnett. And there was one woman on the plane. She was dressed all in leather. She had these crazy eyes, and you're like, oh, man, she's going to be crazy. Nope. She's in the movie a total of a minute and a half. They introduce her character. She gets up. She's dead immediately. On top of that, there's this mystery with this ghost character, and that whole ghost thing was resolved in the first 30 minutes of the movie. It was really disappointing. You could have had all these different, like a Clue almost. You could have made Clue on a plane. That would have been amazing. But no, they let you off the hook immediately with the ghost character. They're not creative with all the different assassins, but yet there's 2 or 3 scenes in there that are just bloody and gory and crazy and weapons and insanity, and it doesn't work. Josh Hartnett does the best he can with what he has, which is a really not a great script. You got Katee Sackhoff's in it, who is really not utilized well. She's a one-note character, down on the ground, not into the action. She's an action superstar, and she's not. There's no action with Katee Sackhoff, literally, at all. No action. And I think they made a real mistake in trying to set up a sequel here. I think they should have just made it a one-off and see what happens. But that's the reality of it. Overall, this film could have been something really special, and they there was it was problematic throughout. Overall, I give this movie 2.5 stars, and I guess that's where we're at. So, did you see Fight or Flight? Did you? Put your comments down below. Let's talk. Let's interact. That's what this channel is all about. And hey, do me a favor. Like and subscribe this video for the algorithm. And let's talk about movies. I'm Mark at the movies.